Christmas Eve shocker. Sorry Mom, it's just family. What happened next will haunt you. The night was young, but an air of unease cloaked the Johnson home as they prepped for the holiday gathering. Outside, snow swirled gracefully like a dance of spirits, yet inside, the mood thickened with secrets waiting to burst forth. Every family member wore a mask, not of festive cheer, but of hidden aches and buried resentments. The table, laden with luscious turkey and sweet cranberry sauce, felt like a stage for a play teetering on the edge of disaster. As Uncle Tom slumped on the couch, fiddling with his phone, Sarah noticed his fingers trembling. "You all right?" she asked, her voice laced with genuine concern. His reply was a hollow laugh, but it was the shadow in his eyes that sent chills down her spine. Something was off. Glancing at her mother, she caught her wiping sweat from her brow, despite the chill in the air. It wasn't just the heat from the oven, it was something deeper, something raw. Moments later, the doorbell rang. It wasn't the expected sound of family, but a heavy thud, resonating like a warning. Sarah's heart raced. She exchanged puzzled glances with her siblings. They felt it too. Stiffening, her father stepped toward the door, and with a flick of his wrist, the door creaked open. In stood a figure cloaked in shadows, the outline barely discernible. "Sorry Mom, it's just family," the figure uttered, voice low and textured like gravel. Fingers slid over the warm doorframe as gasps erupted from the gathering. Eyes widened, breaths caught in throats, hearts racing like runaway trains. Who was this stranger? Why were they so familiar yet so alien? A loaded silence blanketed the room. No one dared move. Before we continue with this amazing story, I need to give you an important heads up. Many subscribers have reported that YouTube unsubscribed them without warning. Take a quick second to check the red button below to make sure you're still subscribed to the channel. I'd hate for you to miss any of the exclusive content coming soon. And while you're there, smash that like button, it really helps me out with the algorithm. Oh, and tell me in the comments, which city are you watching from? I love getting to know every amazing person who's part of this community. Your participation makes all the difference. Let's connect. Suddenly, the room's tension erupted as the stranger stepped inside, casting an eerie shadow that reached out like icy fingers. A whisper swept through the family, voices trembling in disbelief. "Is that?" one of the cousins murmured, but the thought hung unfinished in the air, heavy like frost on a frosty windowpane. Dread knotted in Sarah's stomach. Who had come to turn their Christmas Eve into a nightmare? A sharp laugh broke the silence, unsettling everyone further. "You have no idea how long I've waited for this," the stranger proclaimed, eyes gleaming with mischief. The coolness of the winter air seemed to seep into the very bones of everyone present, pinning them in place like deer caught in headlights. With hearts pounding and a chilling whisper echoing of dark family truths ready to spill, they all wondered, what happened next, and how could a night meant for joy spiral into something so sinister? Panic surged through the room like a wildfire, consuming any sliver of warmth left in the hearts of the Johnson family. Sarah felt her knees nearly buckle beneath her as a wave of sickening recognition washed over her. The figure in the doorway, half hidden in shadows, was unmistakable. It was her estranged cousin, Alex, who had vanished without a word 2 years ago, leaving questions and unease in his wake. "What do you want, Alex?" Sarah's mother finally managed, her voice quivering. The air seemed to thicken, compressing the space between them in a suffocating grip. The smirk on Alex's face deepened, drawing all eyes to the thin scar above his brow, a reminder of a past none of them wanted to revisit. "I'm here for the holidays," he declared, stepping further into the house and closing the door behind him with a finality that echoed through the heavy silence. The tension in the room was palpable, creating a chasm filled with unspoken words. Uncle Tom's eyes darted toward the family's prized holiday decorations, a veil of nostalgia flickering across his face, but quickly faltering at the sight of Alex. In that moment, ghosts of their shared history threatened to engulf the present. "I thought you were dead," one of the cousins muttered, disbelief cutting sharply through the tension. "Dead? No, just lost." Alex's voice was cool, almost dismissive, but his eyes betrayed an undercurrent of something darker. "But I'm back now, and I think it's about time we had a little family reunion." He glanced around the room, soaking in the atmosphere, relishing every flutter of discomfort it brought. Sarah's breath hitched in her throat. Why was he here now? Had he come to settle old scores? She felt the stabbing sensation of fear creep into her chest, but just as quickly, a defiant spark ignited within her. You have no place here, Alex. You left without a word. The words spilled out before she could stop them, a challenge wrapped in hurt. Ah, family drama, he replied with a dismissive wave, but the grin faltered. Those old wounds are just waiting to be reopened. He turned towards the table, feigning innocence as he commented on the feast set before them. Turkey, cranberry sauce, and all the trimmings. How festive. The room bristled with tension, Sarah's siblings whispering under their breath, trying to gauge their mother's reaction. She stood frozen, her face pale as she struggled to keep her composure. The shadows in Alex's eyes grew darker, reflecting the chaos of secrets he might spill. Mom, what happened between you two? Sarah implored, desperately seeking clarity in the storm brewing. Her mother's gaze flickered to Alex, a combination of anger and fear staining her expression. We don't need to delve into the past, Sarah, she replied sharply, but her tone lacked conviction. Everyone could see it, the air was thick with reluctance and haunted memories that threatened to bubble to the surface. I disagree, Alex chimed in, stepping closer. Don't you all want to know why I really left? Or maybe hear about the little things I discovered while I was gone? Each word slithered through the air, fraught with malice. The family recoiled slightly, as if physically struck. Just then, the lights began to flicker, a heartbeat behind the looming darkness that tightened around them. Whispers of unease filled the room, but the worst was yet to come. He wants something, Sarah thought, realizing the depth of her fear. As the flickering lights finally extinguished, plunging the room into darkness, one thought echoed in her mind. Was it too late to turn back, or had they already crossed a line that would bind them to an irreversible fate? The darkness was an entity of its own, filled with Alex's laughter, the promise of chaos at their doorstep. And as they stood, suspended in fear, a single chilling question resonated in the void. What shocking revelation would unravel their world when the lights returned? The darkness felt alive, an oppressive weight pressing against Sarah's chest. She could barely hear her own breath, the sound of her family's fearful whispers drowned out by the pounding of her heart. Thoughts raced through her mind, twisting and churning like a tempest. What had Alex uncovered? What secrets did he hold that could send her family spiraling into chaos? Alex? Her mother's voice trembled, breaking the silence. What do you want from us? I want to share. Alex's voice slithered through the shadows, a predatory tone lurking beneath his feigned innocence. You see, I learned quite a bit during my time away. Things about our family, things that might change how you all feel about each other. The temperature in the room dropped. Sarah didn't need to see their faces to know her family was exchanging glances of fear and disbelief. This isn't a game, she spat, pushing through the darkness and stepping forward, desperate to confront the menace Alex had become. You're scaring everyone. I'm just getting started, he retorted, amusement dripping from his words. Did you really think I'd come back without a purpose? Suddenly, the lights flickered back on, revealing not just Alex's sinister smile, but also the collective shock etched on her family's faces. Uncle Tom stood frozen, hands clenching his sides, glancing like a deer caught in headlights. Sarah's siblings hid behind their mother, finding security in her presence. United we stand, Alex's voice rasped, twisting the familial closeness like a dagger. And divided, I will have my fun. He leaned forward, the scar on his brow glinting menacingly as light illuminated his features. Fun? Sarah's mother retorted, now gripping the table for support. This isn't fun, Alex. This is a nightmare. Oh, but it's only just begun. He laughed, the sound chilling Sarah to her core. Remember the summer of 18? The secrets we buried? This family has far more skeletons than you care to acknowledge. Enough. Uncle Tom shouted, the tension breaking like glass as desperate frustration erupted. We don't need to go back there. Whatever happened is behind us. You left it behind. Did I? Alex shot back, his gaze hardening. Or are you just pretending? I returned for the truth. And it's time you all faced it. Sarah's breath came in sharp bursts, panic overwhelming her. Each word from Alex was like a shard of ice slicing through the warm veneer of family they had so desperately tried to maintain. What do you want, Alex? Just say it. He smirked, relishing the chaos he was stirring. I want you to understand why I left. It's time for some revelations. You see, I discovered something out there, something that connects us in ways you can't even imagine. An uneasy silence draped over the room once more, and the air thickened with anticipation. Sarah's mind turned furiously, grasping for information, for answers, for a hint of safety. She glanced at her mother's pale face, her silent plea urging them to fight back, but fear kept her rooted in place. What if I told you, Alex continued, his voice lower now, almost conspiratorial, that one of you has been lying all along? That the very foundation of our family is built on a lie? Shockwaves surged through the room. Gasps erupted, and Sarah's heart thudded in her chest. No, she whispered, hope fraying as dark possibilities unfolded in her mind. Before they could respond, Alex threw a small object onto the table. It rolled into the center, glinting maliciously under the lights. The family leaned in to see it, a family photo, but torn in half, with one half missing. Find the other half, he declared, a wicked excitement in his eyes. And maybe you'll discover if the truth is worth fighting for or if it's better left buried. The room quaked with a new intensity, confusion mingling with dread. Sarah's stomach dropped. The stakes had been raised, and with that photo, an unyielding question echoed in her mind. What had Alex brought back to unearth the haunting truths of their family, and would they survive the impact? Sarah's mind raced as she stared at the torn photograph, its jagged edge a reminder of something shattered. Uncertainty gripped her. What do you mean the other half? She demanded, her voice quaking. Alex's eyes glinted with mischief, taking pleasure in their confusion. It's simple, really. A family is built on truths or lies. Which one do you think holds us together? His laughter reverberated like thunder in the small room, filling it with a sense of impending doom. Stop it. Her mother cried out, her hands trembling as she reached for Sarah. This can't be true. You've been gone, Alex. You don't know anything about us anymore. Oh, but I do, he whispered, leaning closer. The walls have ears, and I learned more than I ever imagined. You're all hiding something. The question is, how deep does it go? Uncle Tom stepped forward, defiance written on his face. You think you can just waltz back in and accuse us of lying? What proof do you even have? With a flourish, Alex waved a crumpled envelope he pulled from his jacket. This, he said, brandishing it like a trophy. From the archives of our history. A little something I stumbled upon. It might answer a few burning questions. Sarah felt a pang of dread. She wanted to reach out and snatch that envelope from him, but her body wouldn't cooperate. What's in it? She asked, her voice barely more than a whisper. Let's just say it's a ticket back in time, Alex sneered. He tossed the envelope on the table, and it slid toward the family like a snake ready to strike. Uncle Tom grabbed it first, his hands shaking as he tore it open. The air turned electric, charged with anticipation. He pulled out a folded document and read it aloud. This states that your father, Sarah, our father, has a child from a previous relationship. Collective gasps filled the air. The truth hit like a tidal wave. Sarah felt like she was drowning. What? She gasped. How could that be possible? Alex savored the moment, leaning back in his chair as if watching a play unfold. Oh, this family is filled with surprises. He continued, relishing their reactions. Imagine meeting your long-lost sibling. Isn't there a sense of excitement in that thought? Silence blanketed the room. Sarah's heart raced. Siblings? That would mean betrayal. Her gaze flicked to her mother, who looked like she had aged a decade in a matter of seconds, her face twisted in horror. No, no, this can't be real. Her mother's voice cracked, despair slicing through her words. Everything I've said, everything I've uncovered. Alex leaned closer, his voice a soft, twisted melody. It's all connected. Your family's secrets are festering, and I'm here to expose them. Why now, Alex? Sarah shouted, frustration boiling over. Why stir up the past when we're trying to heal? Because the truth can be healing or it can destroy you. He smirked, enjoying their discomfort. Are you ready for what comes next? Suddenly, the power flickered again, plunging them into darkness. The room erupted in chaos as chairs scraped against the floor. Sarah's heart raced. A banging echoed from the front door, rattling the very frame. What the who's there? Uncle Tom called, his voice quivering. The door burst open, wind forcing its way inside, carrying a chilling whisper that wrapped around them like a noose. The shadows deepened, and an unsettling feeling crawled up Sarah's spine. Things are about to get a lot worse, Alex said, the malice in his tone cutting through the confusion. Trembling, Sarah's gaze darted between her family and Alex, realizing they were standing on the precipice of catastrophe. The room was thick with uncertainty, fear coiling tightly in her stomach, and just when she thought all was lost, she heard a familiar voice call through the chaos. I'm here, I know the truth. Every head turned, eyes wide. Who was it? What truth lay behind that door? The mystery deepened, shadows loomed larger, and the fragile threads of family ties threatened to snap. Would they be strong enough to face what was coming? The door burst open wider, and in stumbled a figure Sarah hadn't seen in years. The light from the hallway caught her features, drying tears on her cheeks and a wild glimmer in her eyes. It was Jenna, her estranged aunt, and the air grew heavier with dreadful anticipation. Jenna? What are you doing here? Sarah gasped, confusion mingling with fear. She hadn't expected to see her aunt, not after all the family drama that had torn them apart. I've come to set things right before it's too late. Jenna shouted over the discord, her voice thick with urgency. You have to hear me out. Right? Alex taunted, folding his arms. Listen to the woman whose existence has been a family secret for years. A secret within your secrets. Enough of this. Uncle Tom shouted, lurching toward Jenna. You have no idea what you're walking into. Who knows what history Alex has twisted? I'm not here for him, Jenna huffed, brushing off Uncle Tom's hostility. Her gaze locked on Sarah. I'm here for you. You deserve to know the truth about your father. I came as soon as I found out. Found out what? Sarah pressed, her heart pounding like a drum as fear and curiosity warred within her. Jenna leaned closer, lowering her voice, her eyes darting to Alex. You can trust me. Your father, he didn't just have one secret child. There's more. I tried to hide it, but the bigger the secret, the harder it falls, Alex interrupted, grinning. You see, Sarah, your little family is unraveling at the seams. Isn't it fascinating? A sick feeling churned in Sarah's stomach. What do you mean there's more? How can it get any worse? Because your father's past is darker than you can imagine, Jenna whispered, glancing nervously. He was involved with people he shouldn't have been. This will ruin everything. Stop. Sarah cried. I can't take this anymore. I need to know. What are you hiding? Jenna hesitated, biting her lip, visibly torn. But the desperation etched across Sarah's face seemed to push her over the edge. There's another sibling, Sarah. You aren't the only one. And she paused, a tremor rippling through her voice. There's something about your father's past that could endanger all of us. What? Uncle Tom shouted, fear lacing his tone. Are you saying someone's after us? Not just someone, Jenna pressed, urgency spilling from her. A criminal. Your father's betrayal runs deep. If this person finds out the truth about the other, it could unleash a nightmare. Silence enveloped the group as the weight of Jenna's revelation sank in. Sarah felt like the room was spinning. Another sibling? A criminal tied to her family? The shadows that were once mere functions of dusk now felt alive, creeping closer. Sarah, please, Jenna said, reaching for her hand. You need to prepare yourself for what's coming. We need to figure this out together. Together? Alex sneered, slinking back into the shadows. How quaint. You think hand-holding will save you? Maybe the truth will, Sarah snapped back, shaking with a mix of anger and anxiety. She turned to Jenna, trying to summon some calm within the storm. What can we do? Who is this other sibling? And why now? The door creaked ominously as a gust of wind swept through, stirring the paper scattered on the table, as if the house itself was warning them of the impending doom. Jenna's face fell, terror replacing the resolve, making her look younger, frightened. I am not sure who they are yet. But I know they're searching for answers. And once they find them, there may be no way to protect anyone, not even yourself. As Sarah felt the room closing in around her, a chilling realization whispered through her mind. They might not just be fighting for their family's peace, but for their very lives. What other revelations lay in wait, hidden in the shadows, poised to shatter everything she thought she knew? Jenna's words hung in the air like a heavy curtain. Sarah could feel the panic swirling around them, tightening its grip on her chest. Shadows danced wickedly on the walls, making her heart race. What on earth had her father gotten into? And why was now the moment all this chaos surfaced? Jenna, please, just tell me. Sarah insisted, desperation edging her voice. Who is the other sibling? What are we up against? Uncle Tom stepped forward, urgency etched on his face. We can't just stand here. If there really is a criminal involved, we need to think logically. His eyes darted to the door, as if expecting it to swing open and reveal some lurking menace, but Jenna shook her head fiercely. You don't understand. This isn't just about a sibling or even your father's past. It's about a web of lies that might ensnare all of us. If they discover you, she paused, her voice a whisper now. They might come for you. Who? Who are they? Sarah felt sick, nausea bubbling in her stomach. It seemed like the room constricted, her breath coming in quick bursts. Alex smirked, leaning against the wall, adopting an unsettling swagger. I wouldn't be surprised if the surprise sibling knocks on your door tonight wrapped in a bow. Holidays, after all, are for family reunions. That's enough. Uncle Tom shot back, fists clenching. Stop playing games, Alex. This is real. Jenna stood still, trembling slightly, caught between anger and fear. I need a safe place for you, she finally said. Somewhere away from here where we can think. Yes, let us move, Uncle Tom urged. We need a plan. The more time we spend here, the more vulnerable we become. Moving won't solve anything, Alex taunted, pushing off the wall. You think you can just run? The truth is like an unshakable ghost, and it will haunt you no matter where you go. Sarah shot Alex a burning glare. She could feel her anger rising, but it was soon eclipsed by a budding fear. If I have a sibling, I deserve to know. But do we even know what we're running from? Jenna stepped closer, her expression earnest. Sarah, focus. I need to dig deeper into who this other sibling is. With each minute we waste, we invite more danger. We can't let fear corner us. And where do we go? Sarah asked, her voice trembling slightly as the gravity of the situation bore down on her. I know a place, Jenna said. It's secluded. We can lay low until we figure this out. Secluded like a cabin in the woods? Sarah asked, half joking, but with a tremor of seriousness. Memories of horror movies crept back, families jumping at shadows as darkness descended. Not exactly a dream getaway, Uncle Tom replied as he eyed Alex, his face shadowed with concern. But maybe we'll find some answers there. The room dimmed as the shadows thickened, and Sarah felt a jolt of panic. She nodded, wanting to agree, but uncertainty gnawed at her. What if the sibling finds us first? Suddenly, a loud crash echoed from outside, glass shattering, something heavy hitting the ground. Everyone froze, eyes wide, breathing held. The sound reverberated through the house like an omen. What was that? Jenna whispered, fear creeping into her voice. I don't know, but we need to move now, Tom urged, urgency flooding the air. They instinctively huddled closer, the flickering light catching Jenna's terrified eyes. No one dared to break the silence, the weight of the unknown hanging like a fog around them. As Sarah turned to leave, a chilling thought flashed in her mind. What if the truth they sought was far more dangerous than they could ever imagine? And as they stepped into the night, the door creaked ominously behind them, as if closing one chapter only to open another full of perilous possibilities. What waited for them outside, cloaked in darkness, an ally or an enemy? As they stepped into the night, a biting wind rushed past, slicing through the tense silence that enveloped them. Shadows loomed with an eerie dance, twisting the trees into monstrous silhouettes. Each footstep echoed like thunder in Sarah's ears, amplifying the uncertainty bubbling within her heart. Her pulse raced, merging with the rhythm of muffled thuds in the distance, a reminder that they weren't alone. Stay close, Tom commanded, his low voice a stark contrast to the howling wind. He pulled Jenna by the arm, guiding her toward the path that led to her mysterious safe place. Sarah could feel the weight of Alex's smirk behind her, content in this bizarre game of fear. Anyone got a plan other than just running? Sarah shot back, her voice cracking, though defiance sparked in her eyes. What if this sibling really is out there? What if they're hunting us? Alex scoffed as he walked beside her. Hunting? More like waiting for the right moment to pounce. You'll feel the blade before you even see the killer. His tone was mockingly dramatic, but his eyes flickered with something dangerous. Shut up. Jenna's voice trembled. This isn't helping. She pressed forward, her energy fading with every step. Sarah wanted to reach out, reassure her, but fear tethered her tongue. They trudged on, each second stretching into an eternity, the atmosphere thick as a horror movie on the brink of climax. Suddenly, another crash echoed through the night, a distant shout, a glassy splinter, sharp and jarring. Was that an invitation? Or a warning? Sarah spun around to face Uncle Tom, who had gone pale under the crescent moonlight. We need to hurry, he whispered, pulling both Jenna and Sarah along. Whatever or whoever it is, they're getting closer. Sarah glanced back, her instincts screaming that something was behind them. The trees whispered secrets, their branches reaching out like skeletal fingers, and just for a moment, she imagined green eyes glinting in the shadows. She shook her head. No, this was her mind playing tricks. Fear was winning, and she wouldn't let it take her. Up ahead, the path forked into two separate trails, both dark and foreboding. Which way? Sarah asked, panic threading through her words. I know the left leads to a clearing, Jenna replied, glancing nervously from one path to the other. It's supposed to be the safest option, but what if they're already there? Alex interjected, feigning casual indifference, yet his unease wrapped around him like a shroud. Enough with the theories. We go left, Tom declared, stepping forward with renewed conviction. As they made their choice, the sound of heavy footsteps crunched against the twigs behind them. The noise grew closer, invading Sarah's senses. Heart racing, she turned to peer back. A figure flickered between the trees, a dark outline moving stealthily. Did you hear that? She hissed, clenching Jenna's hand tighter. It's probably just an animal, Alex scoffed, but even to him, it sounded weak. Or something a lot more dangerous, Tom said, his eyes flashing with alarm. Run. They rushed down the left path, adrenaline propelling them forward, but Sarah couldn't shake the feeling of eyes watching, a presence lurking just out of sight. Then, a glint caught her eye, a reflection, sharp and metallic beneath the moonlight, vanished in an instant. But the sound, the rhythmic thud behind them, was still there, relentless and growing in intensity. As they reached the clearing, the moon's cold light illuminated a small wooden shack, the splintered door slightly ajar. It beckoned them like a siren, both promising refuge and threatening doom. What now? Jenna breathed, her chest heaving. Do we go inside? Sarah asked, torn between the desire for shelter and the fear of whatever chased them. Let us just see if anyone else. Tom started, his voice fading as the steps outside halted. They froze, hearts echoing in their ears, a collective breath held. And then they heard a low, gravelly voice float from the shadows behind. Looking for answers, are we? A shudder ran down Sarah's spine. Who was this? Did they know? I'm afraid things will get much worse if you don't come with me, the voice continued, chillingly calm. She glanced at Jenna and Tom, their faces pale with confusion and fear. The trees began to close in as if they held secrets of their own. A choice hovered in the air, heavy and fraught. Are they ready to hear what lies ahead, or will the truth tear them apart? What awaited them in the shack? Would it hold the answers they desperately sought or lead them deeper into the darkness? A tense silence hung in the air, wrapping around them like an oppressive blanket. The gravelly voice belonged to a tall figure, shrouded in darkness, partially obscured by the shadows of the trees. Sarah squinted, trying to see more, but the figure shifted, the darkness bending around it like ink spilling from a tipped bottle. Who are you? Jenna whispered, her voice trembling. The figure stepped into the moonlight, revealing a face that was simultaneously familiar and foreign. I'm here to help if you're ready to listen. The flickering light cast distorted shadows on his features, but Sarah could make out a hint of a smile that did not reach his eyes. Tom clenched his jaw, eyes narrowing suspiciously. Help? Or lead us into a trap? We don't even know you. The stranger's expression lingered in that half-smile, almost amused, as though their fear was an entertaining spectacle. Oh, you have every reason to be afraid. But trust me, staying out here is much worse. A rustling in the bushes broke the moment, reigniting their urgency. I can't do this, Jenna gasped, stepping backward like she was being pulled by an invisible force. I just want to go home. Home? The stranger chuckled softly, but there was no warmth in it. Ah, but you have no idea where home truly is, do you? That struck a nerve. Sarah felt a flicker of anger surge through her, surfacing like a flame beneath the layers of fear. What do you know about us? Who even are you? He tilted his head, almost contemplative. I know enough and I can show you more, but only if you truly want it. Your answers are inside that shack. Sarah turned her gaze on Tom, who was still scanning the perimeter, tension coiled in his shoulders. What do you think? Should we trust him? Tom hesitated, his brows furrowing as if calculating angles of risk. But Sarah could see the fear lurking in his eyes, mingled with the allure of the stranger's offer. Whatever's out there in the shadows is hunting you, the figure continued, glancing over his shoulder. You can feel it, can't you? The urgency in the air. That was a truth they all shared, like a chilling secret weaving among them. The rhythmic thudding from behind them seemed to align with their quickened breaths. No more running, Alex finally chimed in, his bravado fading. I say we hear him out. So, it's a vote? Jenna's voice was shaky, a tremolo of doubt lacing her words. Better than standing in the open, waiting to become the next target, Tom replied firmly. Let us go. With a shared nod, the four of them reluctantly stepped toward the shack, adrenaline surging. The door creaked as it opened, revealing a darkened interior that hinted at secrets long buried. It was cramped, with little spacing between the walls, and the scent of damp wood and decay clung to their nostrils. Once you're inside, there are things you must know. Choices to make, the stranger warned, standing at the threshold. Forget what you thought you knew. You're about to discover who you really are. As they entered, the atmosphere shifted, thickening around them like fog. Dim light illuminated corners filled with dust and forgotten objects, remnants of a life that felt disconnected from their own. Flickers of movement in the periphery made Sarah's heart pound, each sound amplifying her tension. What is this place? Sarah nearly gasped, her eyes wide, scanning the space. It's a doorway, the stranger replied cryptically, shutting the door behind him. The sound echoed like a gunshot, and they all flinched. To the past where your fears await. And to the future, if you dare. Before he could finish, the thudding outside intensified, a crashing sound striking against the door as if pressed from the outside. We need to act now, yelled Tom, feeling the energy shift. As fear seeped into their souls, something clawed at the door with a knowing intent to enter. Shadows curled like predators waiting for a moment to strike. What had they stumbled into? Was this true salvation or the entrance to their worst nightmares? As desperation hung in the air, the door split suddenly, a jagged crack breaking open the dark silence. Something was coming for them. Would they find the courage to face their reality, or would the shack become their tomb? The wooden door buckled under the relentless assault, splintering inwards as shadows clawed at the shard of light illuminating the cramped interior. A surge of panic raced through Sarah's veins. What is it? She screamed, backing away into the clutter of old furniture that felt strangely alive. The stranger, unnervingly calm, stepped forward, positioning himself between them and the door. It knows you're here, he said softly, eyes darting as another thud resonated through the wooden frame. We must not let it in. You have to trust me. Tom's voice shook. What do we do? Gather your courage, the stranger replied with chilling finality. Embrace your fears. They can't take you unless you let them in. Sarah and her friends exchanged frantic glances. Each of their hearts raced like wild horses, racing against the inevitable. Jenna, wide-eyed, clutched Alex's arm, her fingers like freezing vines. This is insane. We should never come here. Too late for regrets, Tom shot back. We stick together. We can't let whatever that is get inside. As the door shuddered violently, they huddled closer, the air thickening with dread. Shadows flickered, snaking across the walls, taunting and mocking. Shapes twisted and morphed, each one a whisper of dark pasts and unspoken truths. Your fear, it's what they want, the stranger urged, his voice steady but edged with urgency. Face it. Otherwise, we all perish. The thuds collided against the door again, growing sharper, like fingers beckoning them to a dark embrace. Closing her eyes, Sarah took in a shaky breath. Thoughts replayed her past, the regrets, the moments of weakness that haunted her spirit like a relentless ghost. I am not afraid, she murmured, unsure if she believed herself. Liar. Echoed a hollow voice from beyond the door, chilling everyone to the core. It sounded like her own, stripped of strength and bathed in sorrow. Do not listen. The stranger shouted, pushing against the door. Confront it. Fight back with your truth. With surprising resolve, Jenna stepped forward. You think you can scare us? We've faced darker things. And we still survived. Her voice wavered but held a flicker of strength. Not strong enough, the voice taunted, now a chorus of laughter and cries, melding into a cacophony of fears. You're nothing without your secrets. Eyes wide, Sarah remembered. It was at this moment she became painfully aware of the shadows within her soul, not just those outside, the lies she told herself, the dreams she buried. You don't get to decide our end. She shouted defiantly, her heart racing as she focused on the light amidst the darkness. Channel it, your anger, your sorrow. It's your weapon. The stranger urged. The oppressive weight clung like a heavy fog, yet flickers of bravery danced in her heart. Tom raised a shaking fist, echoing Sarah's spirit. Hit back. We can beat this. The shadows outside recoiled, howling as if her defiance had struck a nerve. For every scream, another heartbeat pulsed through them, each louder than before, igniting a warmth against the dark chill surrounding them. But abruptly, a blinding light erupted from the stranger's hand, illuminating the corners of the shack, casting away the shadows and revealing them for what they were, creations of fear and insecurity. With that light, a scream erupted from the surrounding darkness, retracting into the distance, leaving only the palpable air of fury behind. Now's your chance. He shouted, eyes fierce. The door, push it closed before they're refortified. Collectively, they rushed toward the door, using their bodies and strength to shove against the forces outside. The shadows recoiled, thrashing, but they pressed forward, adrenaline surging through them. With one last heave, they slammed the door shut. The deafening silence that followed felt almost surreal. Were they safe? Breathless and sweating, Sarah leaned against the wall, her heart still racing. What just happened? She gasped. The stranger, catching his breath, looked more human now, vulnerability flickering in his eyes. That's just the beginning. What lies ahead is much worse. You'll need to brace yourselves for the truths that will come with it. And if we can't? Jenna whispered, the stranger's gaze locked with hers, unyielding yet filled with a shared understanding. Then your fears will consume you unless you're willing to fight for more than just survival. A chill crept into the room, yet from somewhere deep within, a flicker of hope ignited. But what would they choose next? Would they embrace the secrets of their pasts, or flee deeper into the shadows? As the group faced the stranger anew, dread loomed, clinging like a bitter taste in their mouths. What awaited them beyond this moment? Would they have the strength to confront the truths buried within? Shadows lingered in the corners of the small shack, the air heavy with a strange mixture of fear and resolve. Sarah stood among her family and Jenna, every heartbeat echoing the urgency of their situation. The stranger had revealed their fears. Now they needed to decide their next move, one with consequences they could hardly fathom. What do we do now? Sarah asked, her voice trembling but steady. She dared to glance toward the stranger, desperately wanting a flicker of hope amidst the looming darkness. First, you need to understand that your past is not merely a series of shadows, the stranger replied, the weight of his gaze settling on each of them. It's a network of choices that got you here. Only by confronting the truth of your family can you find peace. Uncle Tom squared his shoulders, bravely stepping forward. What truth? We've been through so much already. We've fought hard to keep our lives as they are. His eyes glimmered with defiance. And look where that denial has gotten you, the stranger shot back. You all came to this moment, trapped between a lie and the nightmare your father cloaked. But you're not alone anymore, you have each other. A pulse of solidarity coursed through Sarah. With her back against the wall, fear had transformed into determination. What do we need to do? She urged, gathering the courage to face the unknown. Your sibling, he began, is the key. You must seek them out, you are connected by more than blood. You all are bonded by the secrets that swirl in the air like dust. Great, let us just find them and unearth more secrets. Alex scoffed, the bravado slipping from his voice. But anger surged inside Sarah, and she turned to confront him. You were the one who brought this on us, remember? You returned and threw our lives into chaos. Chaos? More like reality, he shot back. Something we avoided for too long. A smile flickered on the stranger's lips. You see? Staying together as a family is what allows you to break this cycle. Your sibling might hold the wisdom necessary to piece everything together. What do you mean? Jenna implored, her brows knitted. You keep hinting, but you don't reveal enough. Find the truth behind the photograph. His words sounded like a bell tolling, resonating with gravity. The other half may lead you to your sibling, and before dawn arrives, you'll either find your way forward or remain shackled by your fears. A chill swept through Sarah. The thought of retrieving half a photograph sounded incredibly disjointed and yet oddly significant. She exchanged glances with Jenna, Uncle Tom, and even Alex, silently sharing the weight of the decision they collectively faced. What's our next step? Tom broached, urgency embedded in his tone. First, you need to remember where you last saw the photograph, the stranger suggested. There's a deeper history in that memory beckoning you. Sarah's heart raced. I remember. It was at the old family cabin outside town. The details flooded back, her father showing it to her when they were kids, an innocent day that foreshadowed darkness. Yes. Uncle Tom's voice was filled with renewed hope. That's where this begins. As the urgency of their actions crystallized, the stranger turned toward the door. But be wary, he cautioned, brow furrowed. Whatever's out there is waiting for the opportune moment. They know you're after them. And they might have eyes everywhere. Let them watch. Sarah shouted, emboldened by her choice. We won't be broken by fear anymore. This ends tonight. She felt a visceral agreement ripple through her family, a recognition of unity in purpose. Let us go, Uncle Tom commanded, determination written on his face. They stepped forward, driven by a mix of fear and hope. As they crossed the threshold into the cold night, fingers intertwined, a steely resolve ignited within their hearts. They would reclaim their family, facing whatever shadows lay ahead. The wind howled, swirling snow around them, but in that biting cold, a flame ignited within their chests, a promise forged in unity. They weren't just running from something, they were running towards the truth. As they waded deeper into the dark woods, they could almost feel the shadows receding behind them. The wind whispered secrets as they approached the old cabin, history unfurling before them like a tattered flag. The night was fraught with tension, but they each carried a flicker of hope within, a fierce reminder of who they truly were. Together, Sarah said, conviction blending into her words as they reached the cabin's door, we can face anything. Even the darkest truth. And with that, they pushed the door open, stepping into the unknown, ready to confront the past once and for all, some things not meant to stay buried. But what awaited them inside would remain a mystery until they gathered the courage to find out the depths of their truths. As they crossed the threshold into the cabin, they knew one thing: they were stronger together, and whatever lay ahead, they would face it as a family. You need to subscribe now. Don't wait even one more second to ensure you're part of our amazing community as we journey into the next exclusive stories. Smash that like button now to feed the algorithm and show your support. I want to hear from you. Flood the comments section with your reactions and theories about this ending. Let's talk, and you have to share this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this conclusion. Only true fans understand the importance of supporting the channel through these actions.